y'all, welcome back to another episode of With the Light Butter. It's your girl Ashley, y'all, and I tried a new thing. I saw this in my group, Black People's Pound Cakes, and I had to try it. So here she is. Alright, so I had to do a mild high style, right? So this cake has buttermilk, cream cheese, and sour cream all up in here, all up in here. So I was a little impatient when I was trying to get the cake out the pan because I tried another new thing and I wrapped my pan with foil because my cakes were coming out a little dark. I want to do a little testing if I could wrap it with foil, if it can come out a little lighter, babe. You see it. Not as dark as my cakes usually come out, okay? So I like it, but it does make the cake like really moist. It was really soft on the outside, so I have to be gentle and I have to take it a little bit slower so I make sure my skin is not coming off my cake. But of course I want y'all to make this cake too, so let me go ahead and get into it so I'll show y'all how to do it. Okay, let's go. Okay, so y'all already know we gotta whip this butter, but we're putting our cream cheese in first, okay? Broke that down into cubes because you know it makes it easier for the cream cheese to blend. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our butter to our mixing bowl, all right? So we use 4 ounces of cream cheese and we're using 4 sticks of butter, of course, all at room temperature, all right? So get that all nice and mixed, and then of course we're going to start slowly adding in our sugar. So add it really nice and slow until you have it all well incorporated. And then you're going to continue to mix until it's like nice, light, and fluffy. Now it's going to be a little bit different. Remember, we talked about this the last cake we made with cream cheese. It's going to be a little bit different than if this was just butter and sugar. But it should still be nice, light, and fluffy. And you see how it's kind of like pulling to the middle, but also pulling to the sides of the bowl. We're getting to where we need to be. Okay? So we're going to come in and scrape down our sides of the bowl. I did a check. Make sure that your mixture is not gritty as well. That's also an indicator that your sugar is well blended. All right. And we're going to go in with our vanilla extract. We're using 4 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Y'all, I don't always walk you all through all the ingredients, but you can always find them in the description box. And it's also always linked into the comments so you can have all the details about your ingredients. All right. And then we're going to, of course, add our eggs one at a time. So this is mile high style. If you're not familiar with the mile high pound cake, it's at its base 4 cups of flour, 4 cups of sugar, 4 sticks of butter, and 10 eggs. So yes, we're adding 10 eggs into this batter, y'all. 10 eggs, and it's worth every little egg that we're adding into this batter. Your eggs should also be at room temperature, and we're adding them one at a time, and we're just adding them until they're mixed into the batter. They don't need to over mix or anything like that, and then we're going to stop. So we're scraping down the sides of our bowl. All right, we give that another quick mix since we scraped down the sides of our bowl, and then we're coming in with our buttermilk and our sour cream. All right, so both are at room temperature. I decided to go ahead and mix them together because why not? All right, just makes it easier for when we're going to alternate with our flour. So give that a nice good mix, and then we're going to just do that, alternate back and forth with our flour. So you can do this in 3 parts or 4 parts, right? So what's most important is that you start with flour and end with flour. I don't sift. That's a big question that a lot of people ask me. I don't sift. I use pre-sifted flour, but even if I didn't, I wouldn't anymore because flour is not like clumpy like back in the day. I will just whisk it, and our baking powder and our salt is already included in our flour. So you see we're just alternating back and forth with our not pre-sifted flour. Well, it's pre-sifted from the bag, but I don't sift again. If you want to sift, go ahead and sift. That's really up to you. That's how I was taught, but you know things change with time, and my cakes come out just fine. All right, so after we have all that nice and mixed, we're going to come in and make sure that we get everything mixed together. All right, make sure you get to the bottom of that bowl so that you make sure all of that is included in your batter that you're mixing together. Our oven is preheated to 325 degrees. We're going to bake this cake for about an hour and a half. This cake took about an hour and 45 minutes. Y'all, time is relative. Every oven is different. Every cake bakes different. If your cake needs to bake longer, bake it longer. If it doesn't need to bake longer, don't bake it longer. And make sure you like do something like the toothpick test, because that's really helpful to test with doneness. So I love using my Lazy Susan. I have one linked into my Amazon store. It makes it really easy for when I'm adding my batter like this, and for me to just like have something to help me just turn while I'm smoothing the top. I like to add my batter, if you've been rocking me for a while, in two parts to make sure I don't have a little tunnel I used to have in my cakes in the back of the day. Because, once you lay all your batter in there and you spread the top, you're just spreading the top. And I don't do that because it was causing me an issue. So, you know what to do. Lay out your batter in your pan, smooth the top. You can tap it on the counter to make sure you get out all the air bubbles and all of that jazz. And then you place it into your oven, and I prefer preheated, okay? So I'm just showing you here. And for this cake, we're going to allow it to completely cool before we add our glaze. So I want my glaze to be thick, and I want it to really sit up on top of that cake. So I don't need my cake to be hot, because it can thin out your glaze. So if you're having an issue with that, that could possibly be why. All right, so we got our tapping going on. So I'm going to show y'all something new that I tried that I like so far. So I wrapped this pan with foil. I want to try something different. I learned about this in my group, Black People's Pound Cakes. Because like this pan, it's not like black, right? It's gray, dark gray. But my cakes always come out dark. So I was read that, if you wrap your cake with foil, it can prevent it from browning so fast. And I want to try it out. So I wrapped my cake with a couple of pieces of foil. This is heavy duty foil. I'm sure you can use regular foil. I just always buy heavy duty foil as a habit. But I really like how my cake came out. You'll see in a minute if you want to go back and look at my past videos and see how much darker my cake came out versus now. I do make sure I cook my cakes well. That's just me. You cook your cake how you want to. Well, you see my cake was a little dark here. I may tint it next time, like when it's almost done. Cover the top of it with foil to prevent it from browning so much. But I really liked it. Like, I shouldn't have tilted it right there. You live and you learn, trying to be in a hurry and all that type of stuff. And some of my skin came off my cake, because y'all know I'm really serious about not having my cake stick to the pan, and I typically don't have that issue, but that was partially why. And you don't want to be doing that jostling and stuff like that, because it could affect how your cake comes out. And then you want to pull your lid straight up off of your cake. But y'all see how much lighter that cake was, y'all? We're going to do it again next time. We're going to see how it comes out, but I like that. So let's make our glaze. Y'all always know if you ever notice, I changed my attachment for my glaze. I use the other attachment for my batters. It's just my preference. All right. So we have our powdered sugar. We put our salt in there. We put our vanilla extract in there, and we're adding our heavy whipping cream. So about a cup, maybe 1/4 of a cup. I'm showing y'all here. I have to add it the first two. Yeah, it was the first two. All right, so I added a little bit more. So add until it's to the consistency that you want. You can go kind of off my base if you're unfamiliar with making glazes, but add it to consistency that you like. And if you have to, take it out like I'm doing right here. Mix it, do a little drip test, and see before you keep adding any more in there. Okay, that was my first two, so this is my third. I add a little bit more. So I just added a little bit more because I was like, I want it to be just a little bit more drippy when I pour it onto my cake. All right. So I hope that helps. Somebody is struggling with glazes, because I've seen a lot of questions too about people struggling with glazes. It's not thick enough. Just really take your time adding your heavy cream or your milk. I wanted a thicker glaze, so I knew to use heavy cream. Milk is great, and it also has a great flavor, but it wouldn't give me the thickness that I was looking for that you get with the heavy cream. I don't set my heavy cream out early to have it at room temperature. I guess I could, but I don't. And I don't have any issue. And I just use the rest to kind of like make a little design on the cake. I wanted something a little bit different, but still like just nothing plain. No decorations like with nuts or anything else, any glitter or anything. just with the naturalness of the cake. And I like how this came out. Y'all know I gotta give y'all the little cut. You know, I ain't let my icing set all the way. And this one didn't like set hard once it set. It was a nice soft set, by the way. So for those who like that. And y'all look how this came out. Ooh. And this cake was so good. Y'all know we gotta go ahead and get into the taste test. So let's go ahead and do that. Where should we start? Baby, where we always start? Where that crust is crusting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, baby, in 2 days. Hmm. I made this cake yesterday. But tomorrow, when them seasonings soak in, it's really gonna be busting. It's a different kind of taste. You have to taste it to see. I can taste all the flavors that combine. I like all three: sour cream, buttermilk, and cream cheese. So it works for me. You know what I mean? So for somebody who may not like all those flavors, if you never tried them, you definitely have to try them. You can't say you don't like it. Like, ooh, sour cream in a pound cake, baby. It gives that cake so much flavor. It's just a different type of thing. But anyway, you have to try it for yourself. So grab the recipe in the description box below. I'll also put it in the first link in the comments, alright? Don't be stingy. Make sure that you share, comment, like, subscribe, and come back and join me for more over here with the light butter. Alright, bye. When that crust be crusting, boy.